Hello, my name is Amos Frisbee, and I was going to talk to you about our persuasion speech this time. One of the biggest things, the biggest challenges that people like me have with public speaking is that some of us are just simply unequipped to handle that. I want to go ahead and explain it to you in a way that maybe you can understand a little bit better. Let's imagine your biggest fear is standing right in front of you, and you are being judged by a room full of strangers you have no connection to. You don't know who to support you, who's going to laugh at you, but they're all judging you. And you have one person who's in charge of giving you the life or death decision. If you face your biggest fear and you fail, then you're branded for the rest of your life as a coward who is unable to comply with facing that fear. And if you somehow succeed and get through that fear, well, then all it means is that for the rest of your life, you're going to be forced to relive it over and over and over again. That's what it's like for people like me when we face public and do public speaking. Now, there's a lot of people in college, especially the first semester people, who are afraid of trying to speak. They get nervous, but usually with some help, they're able to get through the class, get through that first speech, and makes it easier from then on. For people like me, we can't do the public speaking anymore. For people who have mental health, disabilities, different issues, especially schizophrenia, borderline personality disorders, our opinions of ourselves are not based on what we think of ourselves. It's based on the interactions we get from other people. So as you guys, the strangers, especially as a teacher, judging us for our performance in a speech in front of people, every move that we see, every thought we get, interacts with that differently. Now, if this was a more person-to-person face situation, this would even be harder. If I'm standing in a room, speaking to the room about anything, and a person's laughing about a joke they thought of an hour ago, or I hear people talking in the background, it doesn't come by just simple discourtesy. It's that person's laughing at me, that person's making fun of me, that person's saying how worthless and dumb this topic is. Those are the kind of thoughts that impact people like me. So when we're faced with speaking in a community setting, it would be even harder than this technological advancement is. Now, there's some people who use this as a cutoff and say, oh, I can't do it because I'm scared. But there's also for people like us who generally cannot do things in front of other people. Because of the advancements in today's technology, it's not so bad because most of us don't have to be face-to-face with people in our normal job settings. We do a lot of our communication online through virtual environments, and that's the kind of things that we can support and we can do. So that's what I'm asking you guys to think of. Maybe you have a friend with a mental health or a medical disorder that prevents them from feeling secure being around people. Do you want them to be shackled the rest of their lives? Or do you want them to have a job that they can succeed in and feel happy with? If that's the case and you understand what I'm trying to say, then let's change the criteria for teaching classes like this. Because of those technological advances, we don't have to be in front of people, so why are we forcing our students to be in front of people to learn to speak? As the way I look at it, we have two different options what we can do to make this kind of class better achievable for students like me and to help them prepare themselves for when they get out into that business world. The first is, let's base this on merit. We've all had to do the discussion boards, we've all done the prep speech outlines. That kind of work, that kind of effort, if it was graded on the content, graded on the intellectual structure of the speeches, is more than enough than having to make somebody stand in front of a group of people or a camera, so to be judged online, and forcing them to relive that fear over and over again. Let's base this on the work that we did so we can show, yeah, I know what we're talking about, I know what you mean, and this is how you could do it, but don't make them actually have to do it. Or if that's the other case, the other drawback from that, or the other play on that, is the fully virtual online classrooms. We don't need to learn how to talk to people because of our career or our conditions prohibit that. We're not going to do that. That's like learning to take a chemistry class for a student who's going into baking or some culinary arts. It's not necessary, and it's a waste of time, waste of money, and that eventually hits all of us. if we took classes that taught us this is how proper email communication, this is how you would converse in a web chat, or this is how you can communicate better to explain what you're trying to say in a simpler matter, that kind of stuff would be a great help for communications. It will teach us our target audiences, like we learned in the persuasive arguments, how to target your specific audiences. We can learn what to look for, what needs need to be met, what time we can talk to people, what's the best and most efficient way of communicating. That kind of knowledge is a lot more useful than the way it was presented with this online speech class. The other aspect of this is if you're truly impaired to do this, you want to succeed, but any of these little fallback walls that we're being forced to take at CWI College prevents us from wanting to succeed. It wants us to go back to our safety of in our houses, afraid of being with people, afraid of that common context. So I'm asking you, both the students in this online class and the teacher, to help reevaluate the need for this class by eliminating the online speech requirement for this course. Let students like me that needs are a little different than yours be able to succeed successfully in this class, so we're not penalized and dropped due to our inability or our fear to face public speaking. Come with me, demand that CWI changes requirements for the communication process in this course, and we can help make everyone else who comes after us better communicators, better employable, and happier people. Thank you.